Welcome, welcome, my lovelies. I'm in a particularly good mood because, thanks to Julia from Simplicity Revealed channel, she asked me would I go along with her nephew Kenneth to this sound healing venue. I can offer this as a testimony as much as anything else of imagination creates reality. There was a musician called Wolfgang. Hi Wolfgang, I didn't realise it was you when we spoke yesterday, and it was beautiful meeting you, brother. So, went along to this, I think it's called Samadhi sound healing, because I could feel I've got a couple of blockages, energetic blockages in the chest that needed to be shifted, which it worked. And the timing of this could not have been better, and the yield, the wish fulfilled. Not only did I get to meet Wolfgang, I got to see what the collective energy of just 40 to 50 people can do. I saw the apple, the toroidal field, the colours, the crowns coming off the top of the head, the light in the eyes, and it's like, this is part of the 144,000. Now, it may be more, it may be less in the physical. In the internal, it refers to the 144 chakra petals of the first 6 chakras, your energy centers, and it's multiplied by 1,000 with the crown, when you are crowned, when you are Christed, when you are an anointed one. So the 144,000 could be referring to a group that is maybe considerably more, maybe considerably less. I'm going to come on to this, more about this and the implications of this, something I just know from feeling, but I can't show you yet. But before that, I've had an email, or a message, or was it may have been both. Could I explain what I mean by the unthinkable? Thank you, Steve, for this. Can you do the Un-think-Abel? Can you do that for me, Cain and Abel? You're devouring yourself as a cannibal. It's all internal here. You're devouring that blockage between the 2 hemispheres of the brain. That is part of the inner work. Imagine yourself in a cinema. You're in the darkness, because it always follows the pattern of the darkness. Now you see a big screen. But the screen that you're seeing is the picturings in your mind's eye. When you become an observer or a watcher, because that's again applied to something external of you, but it's not. When you become the watcher and you're observing what becomes the alchemical marriage of the 2 hemispheres, the conscious mind that is thinking, the subconscious mind that is impersonal, and will just keep serving like a dutiful wife to a husband. So subconscious will give you more of the feeling of want. If you want something, you're holding a feeling if you haven't got it. The inner work is also like with these messages. I could have reacted from a negative point, because asking the question, can you explain it? It's an accusation from a perspective if you have a negative reaction. And it's like, so I've got to talk about it all again. No. Now this is some of the inner work. You turn the questions inward and you say to yourself, okay, clearly I did not explain it very well, what I was trying to convey. So I need to then re-examine how I've said it, because I know what I'm saying, as it were. So I'm not saying it for myself, I'm sharing something. So, doing the unthinkable, that could imply suicide, that could imply doing something that most people wouldn't because of say, a murder. I'm going to do the unthinkable. I'm going to kill somebody, for example. And a lot of people, oh, you can't do that. Because they can't think that way. And they can't think that's an answer. Doing the unthinkable has more than one meaning. You've got that negative polarity, which would be mostly associated with suicide. Jumping off a bridge, for example. The unthinkable, almost in the word think, is it sounds like it's got a similar sound to Enki. Now, forget about whether it's true, whether it's historical. Just hold with the story. Enki has a draconian mother, therefore he is half Anuna or Anunnaki. Anunnaki just basically means Anuna Arcadian perspective, so hence Anuna Akkadian is a mouthful. Easy to confuse it as Anunnaki. So what that shows in that message, Enki has sided with, if he's Lord of the Earth, he's got divine parents. So divine masculine, divine feminine. He's sided with the divine feminine. The other interpretation I give you of the unthinkable, when you think, you're trying to problem solve in the conscious mind. How am I going to get through this? I wonder if it's going to come from this person. I wonder if it's going to arrive today. And you start creating stories in the mind, trying to figure out the answer. Doing the unthinkable is you're now back in that cinema, you're watching a picture. You close your eyes to the external. And you're now doing part of the inner work. You're becoming the observer of your own thoughts. It's almost as if I was to take myself out of this body with a second, like a more ghostly physical form, and went and stood behind, and I'm now watching through the back of the head, and I'm watching over the shoulder, and I'm watching these thoughts, this dialogue, this chatter that's going on inside. The thoughts go round and round in the head trying to figure things out. Hence, the world goes round. It's in a whirl. Your head is in a spin. But is it physically spinning? Let me give you another example. To paraphrase Jason, if I'm to introduce myself to someone, I could say, rather than tell you who I am, I will show you who I am. And this is quite amusing, how many people can think laterally, as it were, or just observe what is actually really being presented. So I'm just going to fan these cards out so we can turn it round to the camera. Let's see. Hopefully you can see that nice and clearly. 5 cards there. I can say that is who I am. It's interesting watching how puzzled people are, but it is, in this case, it's very literal. I'm a 4-king joker, because that's why they're shown in that order, implying I'm a fucking joker. Because 4-king, it sounds so similar, and English humour and things would understand that. Firking is another sort of country dialect way of saying it that has become a spelling to get round any sort of censorship. Oh, you can't say that bad word. Who says the word is bad? I didn't put a judgment on it. So, right, coming back now to answer another question, particularly those that follow archaics. I'm talking about the Phoenix event. It's the difference between an apocalypse in the accepted term and an epoch collapse. An end of an era, a change in time, a new beginning, a brave new world. Mary Celeste comes into this. Mary, reference to the mother. Does not a mother raise the child? So let's internalize that. The heart is the mother. The heart of the home, the body. The child falls from the place of the sun, the solar plexus, to the root. It's the same story played out over again. The sun has to fall in order to rise again. Just like the sun does, it sets and it rises again. It's shown everywhere. Hopefully you're following this train of thought with all of this. Imagination creates reality. How do you feel about a Phoenix event with, shall we say, a direct energy weapon that's beaming and maybe knocking out entire cities, maybe knocking out entire nations, or very localized, like a laser beam, and it's targeting this, targeting that? How do you feel? Where is the energy of your feeling now going? Mary Celeste, Celeste, celestial, Celeste I, all. Reference to the I and all. Bring the two together. Mary, earth, in this case. Ouch, don't bite my armpit. Kitten attacks. Just playful. Celeste, the heavens. Is it not referred to as bringing heaven upon earth? Because many people have a perception this is a hell. Now let's look at the Mary Celeste story and similar stories. You've got depictions of everybody's just suddenly vanished. Where did they go? There's meals half eaten, they're still warm on the table. It's like something just picked them up. Enoch, Enki, and he was not. Comes back to the same story. They didn't not finish those meals. It's not a Mandela effect, it's a Magdalena effect. If you want to find the Magdalene, go within. Now the inner work, I don't think it's not work. But again, this would be unthinkable to most people as they initially hear it. I propose you need to install draconian laws to break things with all the rules and regulations that you don't like. But draconian laws are harsh. Now, it's all an inside job as reflected by the insurance, fiat currency and much more. Don't even need to focus on that. It should be readily apparent to most of you that would listen to a channel like this anyway. So, you internalize all of this. Let's give you... I've lost the train of thought. I apologize. Apollo's earth eyes. It'll come back in a minute. But apply relatable experiences to things. Let's go back to the fruit bowl. From sitting on one side and looking at that still life, I can see a great big pineapple that obscures my view of some cherries. And I now have this strong belief, and I need to defend that position that there are no cherries. Yet if I was to look from the opposite perspective, I would see the cherries and the pineapple. Is either party in that wrong? One will play the role of the accuser, as it were, in that scenario. The other will play the part of the adversaries, Everything starts in Aries. You're adding verse, you're adding fuel to the fire because you've reacted. That's a cat tail. You've got kittens, one on the arm, two on the lap, play fighting. But that's not a negative thing. That's an example of beauty in the timing, because that's a test of, can I stay focused on what I'm trying to convey here? I feel I can. So this is what Neville Goddard talks about. The Bible is just archetypes. They're states of mind. You play all the parts. I witnessed with this Samadhi music healing event, I saw Soul Family. I saw the whites in the eyes, because there was no talking, and it was just conversations with energy and with expression with the eyes. It was the most beautiful experience. Would you two stop fighting? I'm sorry about this. This is the AI working through the nearest and dearest as well. 3D family is a big pull, but let me give you a perspective on this. Oh, I can't leave these people. I can't do the unthinkable. I can't cut them out of my lives. Doesn't mean you don't love them, but consider when you're around them, if they feel that they're draining your energy, they can be unknowing energy vampires, not even aware that it's channeling through them. Channeling, it's so easy to think of just psychics, mediums, but you can be channeled through. You can be driving under the influence. Under the influence of what? It's not under the influence of the alcohol, it's under the influence of the all-co-hall. It's demonic entities, spirits, because you'll see a change in a spirit when somebody is drunk, because they'll be all happy, I love everybody in the world, to I want to kill everybody in the world, or they go into depression and my life's over, drowning in their beer or drinking gin. We could do decode whisk key. Is it not the key that you're looking for? Again, let me give you a relatable, everyday, mundane scenario. You put your car keys down. You're frantically searching the house for these car keys, and somebody will say, try to think of the last place you put them. No, don't. That's the worst thing you could do. And it's also normally gets a reaction of, well, if I knew where that was, I'd find the keys. It's stating the obvious, but it's not. It's stating or as much what isn't obvious. So don't try and think where you left the car keys. Do the opposite. Sit down, have a glass of water. Forget about it all. Don't think. Become the watcher, become the observer. Now see that film being played in the mind's eye inside. The answer will come. You don't need to go outside for anything. All the answers are within you, is the saying. It's absolutely true. Look at, like this mobile device, does it store everything on here, or do I have a facility to access a Google Cloud? Now think of the spiritual interpretation of that. What am I drawing upon? It's a living Akashic record. That the information that you seek will come to you when you don't think. You enable, doing the Unthink-Abel. You are self-empowering, you are enabling yourself. Use the resources you have got. How many of you would consider using system resources? Let me give you an example and a personal testimony here. And how the system can now be used as much as a weakness becomes a strength. You find yourself in a situation where you've been arrested. You know from experience you've got this butterfly sensation starting in your stomach. You've got the programming of the system of police uniform, intimidation, psychological intimidation. There's 6 of them, there's just me. I feel outnumbered. This is where you have to stand in your power, whether you be sitting down or standing, whether you be in handcuffs or not at this stage, whether you are in a cell, that's your meditation room, but you don't think. You rise above. You open the valve slightly. It's now a controlled release. You are mastering those emotions, those feelings that are welling up inside. You let them out. You express them. Because it is genuinely a panic attack, but now you are in control of it, you can open the valve just slightly and let enough out that it is... You're acting on a world stage, but it is so convincing because it is genuine. You win an Oscar, you win a Golden Globe. You've now got servants. Oh, let's move you to a bigger room so you don't feel so claustrophobic. We'll leave the slit open. Would you like a cup of tea? Would you like something to eat? See how it's turned the polarity? The situation has not changed. Nothing in the physical has changed whatsoever. The feeling, the dynamic of that entire situation has now become something far more positive because I haven't reacted. I've mastered the emotions. I've mastered the feelings within the vessel, this singular being, my entire world. I am the God of this world. See how egotistical that sounds, but when you put it in this context, maybe it doesn't sound so egotistical. Maybe it's just if you want to know who I am, you need to know who you are. Don't tell me your name is John or Peter or Paul or anything. That's not what I asked. Who really are you? You are I and I am you. We are reflections of each other. We are that Humpty Dumpty that's shattered. We are that Dyson shell that has fractalized. We've become the atom, the atomic bomb. We've been given a conscious mind to think, and look what happens from that thinking. But it's about as much doing the unthinkable. It's allowing the mind pictures to come, using your creativity or imagination with what you can do with what's being shown to you. Seek the kingdom within and all will be given to you. So when I say I'm going to call somebody out, that is with an intention of many people will react and will go into this soap opera mindset of, oh, scandal, gossip. Oh, what dirt is he going to share? I'm not sharing any dirt. I'm saying I'm exposing someone because I'm saying you can trust what they're saying. I know because I feel it. I could be wrong. I could be misinterpreting the feeling. I take full responsibility and apologize in advance if I've got something wrong about anybody. But we're coming back to the still life. I'm giving you a perspective which hopefully I've not seen just from north, south, east and west. I've walked all round the table of the still life and I've seen it from a higher perspective. I've seen it from all angles, all angles of light or illumination in this physical reality. It's not light. The light that ye seek is within you. It is the intuition, becoming the teacher of self. Go within. The income. The true wealth that you seek is what comes up inside you. This dance ceremony venue yesterday, the tears that just rolled, and I wear that with honour. The emotional sensation, I can now feel it, the tears of joy. So if the eyes are watering, if it comes, oh, I've finished my coffee. If it comes, then let it flow. Let it flow, let it flow, let it flow. It's a release, it's tears of joy, it's not tears of sorrow. I'm not afraid, I'm not ashamed to show that. Why would I want to suppress the emotion? This is called sitting in the pain. This is what you overcome by not fighting against it. You're showing yourself the way you are. You can say, I am the way to yourself. It's all internal, see? But look at what's just happened. The waters from above, they've welled up from emotion. Where did these waters come from? If you have a firmament, it's like the lens over the eye. In the corner is the cornea with the tear ducts. It's a release of emotions that's now come out as a physical expression. Let it roll. Let the good times roll. Let the tears roll. It's like salt water anyway. I can't say it does the skin any harm. It doesn't taste bad. Some of it gets recycled and taken back in. It's a physical expression of a toroidal field, like this collective energy I saw. I saw the Big Apple. It's not New York. But look at what's shown in the material. Signs will be given to you by day and by night. You are in 2 days' world, and most are in a day's. Seek the IXI. It's the schematic of that optic nerve. When you see that you're cross-eyed, the cross is a cross. The mind's eye. It's the smudging of with the Ash Wednesday. It's a symbolic ritual of poking you in the eye so you can't see. You can't see inside yourself because you're still focusing externally, looking for an external saviour. No one can save you except you. It is by doing all these things that I've hopefully put it into far more mundane terms. Mundane, not in, oh, that's boring. Mundane is the everyday relatable things. It's no bad thing to let the tears roll. It's a cleansing process. The skin feels good afterwards as well. It's a fantastic thing. So sitting in the pain, if you suppress the pain, you suppress the joy. It's like it's coming into the even balance on the linear. Weighing things up like the Libra scales, the blindfold in the depiction, it's a blindfold, so it's not with the physical eyes. They are just for watching. The mind's eye is where you see the story. The mind's eye is where you can now project out the interaction with this interactive, your informed field is informing. Because you are informing. You're not filling in a form, or filling out a form is often said. Will you fill out this form? I've filled out this physical form, but it doesn't mean I can't have expanded consciousness and going into the Jupiter age, the age of expansion, the age of acquire us. When does it start? It starts with us. Mary Celeste, we're just ghost out. You'll see a very different Phoenix. It's not going to be a direct energy weapon. It will be a direct energy weep on. It's activated. Let the tears roll. Let the good times roll. So I'm going to leave that there. So please do let me know in the comments. Have I made it crystal clear for you? If not, come back and I'll find another way to explain it. I'll find the way for you that's relatable to you. That's the intention. So I hope it all makes sense, and I'm going to say unconditional love to you all.